Hi, everyone. As you know, UUCM has been having the wonderfully positive as well as challenging reality of a very full sanctuary on Sunday mornings. In fact, often an overflowing sanctuary on Sunday mornings. Plus, there are many people who are not even here yet who would like to be. People who are longing for a community like this and what it offers. This spring, after several months of very full and overfull Sunday services, I queried the various leaders of ministry teams who have roles that are most related to Sunday mornings to ask what they thought it would take. In other words, what would have to be in place if we wanted to do two services, more than one service, and we wanted to do it sustainably and well. And I thought that's a place to start since UUCM had done this before. And that initial query to the team leaders launched a whole flurry of email exchanges on UUCM Connect as people express their very strong ideas and feelings about whether there is a problem at all, how the challenge is being addressed or might be addressed, who's going to make the decision, and how the decision is going to be made. It did not help that in that letter to team leaders, I had expressed that I thought a second service was probably the most viable option since we had done it before, which implied to some people that a decision had already been made. So here's to name first that no decision had been or has been made. And as to how the decision will be made, the letter of agreement between the minister and this congregation, as well as the congregation's bylaws, name that the minister has primary responsibility for the spiritual and ethical life of the congregation, primary responsibility for the ministries of the congregation, and primary responsibility for worship services. And both of those documents also name the importance in our community of shared ministry, the idea and ideal of working collaboratively across all our roles. Now, a given minister might choose to simply go ahead and make a decision, right? That's the minister's responsibility. And it's a style of decision-making that has been difficult for some members of this congregation in the past, and in fact, has left some people feeling wounded, since it's not what they were used to. But since Sunday services impact so much of the congregation and the volunteering needs, not only the ideal, but I think the need is for us to work together to figure this out. So a minister has a certain responsibility, and I'll name what I think is the way to go after we hear from everybody and take into account what we know. And we'll pick up the conversation from there. But of course, we have to work together to figure this out. Minister, worship team, congregation, other teams, to find the ways of moving forward that meet as many of the key needs as possible, and that is sustainable as possible, and that works well enough for enough people as possible, including those who are longing for, even desperate for, a community like this, those people who aren't even here yet. So that's my hope and expectation for living out my responsibility to the congregation and its mission, but also to the tradition. My responsibility is to keep an eye out for the long picture. So with that context, our goal for the conversations we've been having is to get more of our awareness on the table, to pool our awareness and our ideas and our experiences so that we have the greatest possible knowledge and insight from bringing what we know together. With the goal in the live sessions of first listening to each other. So to really try to hear the insights, the perspectives, the feelings that other people are holding. Not just worrying about what we're going to say, but seeing if we can really try to listen with an ideal of understanding. So with that context, the goal for these sessions, beyond that, and the goal for this survey is to surface our insights, understandings, perspectives, and feelings regarding what matters to you about how this decision is made, about how we go about this and why, a little bit about what we know and about what we're experiencing right now on Sunday mornings. What's your experience, in other words? We'll ask what key needs any good solution will have to meet. In other words, what are the absolute primary key needs that we'll want to meet for any way we decide to go forward, including the needs of those who aren't here yet, as well as those who have been here a long time. And then we'll list together the possible solutions that come to mind and heart at this moment. What are some of the things we could do in the short term, medium term, long term to meet this moment and to meet this influx of people who are seeking community such as this? So that's the context in the format of listening to each other and seeing what we know together. Know that no matter what action rises to the top, and no matter what plan we ultimately take, know that it will be an experiment. We will learn together, trying it out for some designated period of time to see how it works. If something's not working, we wouldn't want to continue it. So we'll make a plan, we'll move forward, and then we'll see how it goes after a period of time. With that, let's dive in and see how you would answer some of these questions or respond to some of these invitations.